Hi, welcome to the zoo, and we're your hosts, Caitlin.
And Josh Zaniga.
All right, we're back at it. Welcome to the zoo. It's been a while since we've actually podcasted just us. So it's been really fun, though, having guests come on.
Yeah, it's been great.
Yeah, we have some other people in the works too. We thought it would be a good time to just give a couple updates on just what we've been up to. Biggest thing lately, we just got back from a trip to Europe. That was pretty dope.
Yeah, it's a big deal for us because we don't normally do things like that. We do it maybe either have never done it before or there's years of time in between our epic trips.
Well, because we were talking about it, and the only trip we've taken
that's even comparable is probably our honeymoon.
Yeah, internationally was Africa. I mean, we have gone to Mexico since we've been married, but I mean, it's epic, but Europe and Africa are like another level. So
yeah,
we decided to go on a cruise because I'm pregnant and we wanted something that was a little bit more just relaxing in a way. I mean, I don't think it was like insanely relaxing at times, but we had moments where
we got our butts kicked by jet lag.
Yeah,
there was a 9-hour time difference between us and Utah. And it took us like 2.5 days to get used to it, to when we got there and then when we got back. I don't know why, but I just like anytime you have to get up really, really early for a flight, like you have to be at the airport by 3:30. It's like you have to weigh and measure like, okay, is it even worth falling asleep? I usually do, and you usually don't.
Yeah, you're like, actually, even if I sleep for 2 hours, I still want to sleep.
Yeah, I'm like that way, but you usually push it and just push through, and then it's like miserable. I mean, it's miserable for all of us. Probably a little bit more for you, though.
Well, on the way out, I decided to pull an all-nighter. I haven't done that since probably college, honestly.
Why did you? Why did you do that?
I don't know. I was just so stressed. I waited a little bit too long to pack, and so I had to make sure all the fits were ready for Europe, you know? Make sure you were ready with your fits. But I don't know. I just felt better about it to have more time. And normally I'm a night owl in general, but being pregnant, pulling an all-nighter was intense. Just obviously the level of exhaustion is a lot higher when you're pregnant. So, and then it's funny, you were saying, like, why do we always book flights at 5 a.m.?
Well, in that specific scenario, I tried to find a different time and there just wasn't any other times.
Oh, okay.
That worked with us getting there when we wanted to get there.
Okay. So yeah, we got an Uber on the way there. And if I remember right, the guy was kind of trying to talk to us about how his dad did something with Bluffdale City, I don't know, in Utah, and we were just like,
dude,
out of it.
I wasn't there, so
yeah, we were
like
on
mentally,
another planet.
I wasn't there.
Yeah, but anyway, I'm just happy that we made all of our flights, honestly, because there's always a chance you can miss stuff. So
I watched some interesting like Bollywood movies on the airplane.
Oh yeah, I was excited because I watched Mamma Mia getting ready because we were going to Greece, so that was fun. I felt like the food that they gave us on the plane was okay. I don't know. Did you like it?
No.
Yeah.
It was all right.
Yeah. But that's the longest flight you've ever taken in your life, right? Besides Africa, I guess.
Yeah, I would say that Africa felt longer to me.
I honestly think the jet lag to Africa was worse, though. I felt like it took us 4 days to get used to that. And I felt like with Europe, it was only a couple. We went on Norwegian Cruise Line. I've been on Royal Caribbean a couple of times. I think it's been 3 or 4 at this point. I think every time I've gone on a cruise on Royal Caribbean, it's been to the Caribbean. But you said they do go to Europe, right?
They do.
Okay. So anyway, we tried a new cruise line, and I would say comparatively, we both liked Royal Caribbean more, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, look, our trip was amazing, and we don't want to sound like we're complaining about.
No, it's just comparison, really.
But when you compare the cruise lines, our preference definitely is Royal Caribbean.
Yeah, I think just was interesting. Like Norwegian's cruise ship was a little bit more outdated. And I don't know, I just felt like the activities and the entertainment wasn't as good as Royal Caribbean and the food. Like the food was still good, but I know people complain about not wanting to do cruises because the food can get repetitive. Which I didn't really feel like that, though, on Royal Caribbean.
No, Well, I felt like Norwegian's buffet was pretty good, but like the sit down dinner, the fancy dinner, it was like kind of the same.
But we didn't make any reservations for other restaurants because you can do that on the ship. But so I feel like we could have probably branched out a little bit more than we did. Because I remember when we went on Royal Caribbean in January, we tried like all the different restaurants for the most part. I feel like the teppanyaki, and it was a 10-day cruise. We went to, trying to remember first, did we go to Slovenia or Croatia first?
No, it was Venice first.
Oh yeah, Venice.
Yep. It was a good thing that we did to get the flight that we did, because we didn't realize that although on the cruise like itinerary it said that our first place was Venice, it really wasn't. It was actually 2 hours south of Venice. So we had to take a bus ride as soon as we got there, 2 hours south of Venice to this place called Ravenna. And then the next day, didn't it kind of just stay put? No, wait, we started in Trieste, right?
Yeah, it's like we flew into Venice, right?
Oh, wait, no. So we flew into Venice, drove down to Ravenna, and then it goes up to Trieste. Am I saying it right?
Something like that, yeah.
Which is like, they're both within like an hour and a half, 2 hours of Venice.
Yeah.
And then you have to bus down to Venice.
Yeah, so it sounds like a lot of people decided to just stay in that city, the port, because it took 3 hours to go to Venice and then 3 hours back.
Yeah.
So it was a ton of traveling. It was a lot.
But the reason why they do that is because Venice is very weird about like allowing cruise ships near the actual Venice because of how like sensitive the water situation is.
Well, once we got there, it was flooded like a little bit.
Yeah, there was portions of like the main courts that were flooded. It was a super interesting city though, like super interesting.
Yeah, because I had been there previously one time, and I think when I had went, it was in November, and so it was like, because this trip obviously was in September, and I felt like this time it was a lot more crowded comparatively to when I went in November. So that was a little bit intense. And then just because the water coming up, they had like wooden slats that you had to like walk on. And then they were selling boots, like little water booties that you could buy to walk through for like.
And I didn't want to buy them.
I think it was like $10 maybe for both.
Dude,
I don't
Europe
even know.
is expensive. Like those euros are deceiving. Like you think, oh, $10 is not that expensive, except it's in euros, not dollars.
Yeah. And then especially if you're getting stuff out of the ATM.
Dude, they bend you over with those ATMs. Like
with the
from the
fees?
conversion
Yeah.
fee and then the actual fee to use the machine. Mm-hmm. It was pretty wild. Like it's like they like charge you like $22. If we took out 50 euros, it was 100. It was close to 100.
Yeah.
100 US
Yeah, exactly.
dollars.
But I'm happy that you saw Venice. The thing with cruises, the first time I went to Europe, I went on a cruise too, and it's like you get a little taste kind of each country, you know, because you're not there for a super long time. When we were talking with our tour guide, she was just saying like this is a preview or a trailer of this country, right?
Yeah.
But I wanted you to experience Europe that way because we were able to see way more countries in a short amount of time. And then you can kind of see like where you want to go back to, you know?
I think the most surprising for me was Slovenia, which is where we went to the next day. It just didn't look at all like what I thought it would. Not that I really had a super solid preconceived notion of Slovenia.
It was a lot greener.
Yeah, it was super green. It's probably the most green place I've ever been, ever.
Really?
Yeah. Like the only place I could compare it to in my mind is like Tennessee in the summer. Like that's how green it was.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like Tennessee, but it's that kind of green.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought it was so cool. We did a lot of tours kind of in the beginning of the cruise. My mom had told me about her choir tour that she had just went on, and they went to Lake Bled in Slovenia. And so they took us there and we walked around the lake, which was super, super pretty. And then, yeah, you're right. Then he took us into the main city, Ljubljana, and it was, I think he said that city is one of the cleanest cities in Europe.
Yeah.
Right?
He did. And it used to be a Roman city.
So we were saying we would for sure go back. I feel like we didn't get enough time in that city.
No, the ice cream was good there and the food was good there though.
Yeah.
And like the city was just really pretty.
Yeah.
You could like feel the history there.
And then we went to Croatia, which I had heard so many good things about. Like people had said to me that it's kind of like a hidden gem, not even a hidden gem, but just like people don't go there as often as like London or Paris or, you know, so these bigger cities. But so we went to Dubrovnik and Split, right? And so Split was where Was it Roman ruins?
Yeah, it was Roman ruins.
Okay. That was really, really cool. It was raining that day, so it was kind of like a gloomy vibe, but it still was gorgeous. Like the olive trees were so cool. They had pomegranate trees. Just walking around the ruins, I thought it was really fun. And then Dubrovnik was awesome.
Not only was it split in Roman ruins, but we also went into a medieval city, remember?
Oh, yeah.
No, they did say that there was a Greek portion of the city. I just remember the cathedrals in there were like really, really, really old and really, really interesting. Like they have so much symbolism. Like the buildings there have so much symbolism and they're just decorated really cool. It's very different than modern buildings. It makes, like all the buildings in Europe make modern buildings look ugly, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. Like you said, there's so much character and history that you can't even compare to like all the townhouses in Utah. I don't know, everything looks the same. I feel like in a lot of the parts here in Utah now. Not as much character, but that's okay. Dubrovnik, what did you think?
I thought Dubrovnik was gorgeous. That's where the Game of Thrones stuff happened. The big keep that we went into was super cool. I liked seeing like where the cannons were and like how they would use it to protect the city. It was just really cool history.
It was kind of crazy too. They were setting up for a wedding when we were there.
Yeah.
So they were like adding string lights into the castle, and it looked like they were setting up for like a DJ too. And I was talking to one of the girls on the tour, and she was like, dude, you're getting married in a castle. Like, why are you setting up lights and like a DJ? She's like, you don't even need it, just because it's so beautiful. It was just kind of funny, like seeing them actually set that up. But
It'd be an expensive venue.
yeah, I think there's some type of celebrities. Like, I can't remember exactly what they said, but they were for sure Croatian. I don't know. Like, I don't think anybody can get married there, even if you wanted to pay. I don't think you have to be somebody. We watched the Game of Thrones show together, and so that was kind of fun to like experience that. And then we ate really good food there too. I thought we had pizza and then this really good tomato soup, and then like probably the best charcuterie board I've ever had. I thought it was so good. Pretty much after that, did we go to Montenegro in between?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Montenegro, I don't think I've ever talked to anybody like in my personal circle that's been to Montenegro. So that was kind of cool.
Yeah, that place also didn't look like I thought it did. Like I thought it would. I just didn't really have a preconceived notion, but the name Montenegro means Black Mountains, which it makes sense. For some reason I just didn't make the connection that it's just a really mountainous area right up against the water. And it's true, like when the sun's going down, it just looks, or the sun catches the mountains, right? They do look black.
Yeah. It was very, very unique. We had to take a bus all the way up the mountain, and it was super, super windy. And I don't know if I just didn't eat enough that day or if it was just me being pregnant and feeling sick. But we finally got to like the top where we were going. We looked over the view and everything, and I was fine for a little while. And then it just hit me like once we parked, and pretty much everyone was off the bus. I think besides like one girl was getting off, and then all of a sudden I just threw up all over the bus.
Yep.
And you gave me a bag that had a hole in it.
It's what I was given.
I know, it's just funny. Like we tried so hard for me to actually throw up into a bag, and yeah, it was disgusting. So that kind of put a damper on Montenegro a little bit.
But like I am kind of a nerd. So while Caitlin's looking at the pretty buildings, I'm looking at them too, but I'm also on ChatGPT trying to learn the history of all the different areas. And I thought that the political history of Montenegro was super interesting. The Romans, that area used to be called a Dalmatia, like Dalmatians, like a Dalmatian dog. I don't know if there's any connection there. Maybe there is, maybe there's not. But it was a Roman province called Dalmatia. It used to be a very unruly part of the Roman Empire. Like they always had issues with this area. And it was ruled over by, or like the people that lived there, they were called Illyrians. And they were just like these nomadic tribes, and they would just cause problems. Like they were problems for the Romans. They were just very like boisterous and aggressive. And then I just think it's interesting because I feel like Montenegro is very proud of their heritage. Apart from when they were part of like Yugoslavia, I feel like they've always kind of been like the little guy. Like the place that we were gonna see before you puked was this museum of King Nicholas, who I read about him. He battled against like the Ottoman Empire. They were like showing us this area where like you could see down into the water, and they were telling us that like back in the day, tons of Turkish ships would come into the bay and attack that area of Montenegro. And so it was just super interesting, like thinking about what it would have been like at that time, seeing tons of ships.
Yeah, no, I thought it was a super pretty country though. I think it would be cool to go back and explore and maybe stay in one of the super nice hotels on the beach. See, that this is the difference of you and me, Josh. You were talking about the Ottoman Empire and you're holding on to all that information. I'm thinking about her saying David Beckham and his family stayed here. And I was like, "Ooh, I want to stay where I want to stay at that hotel where David Beckham and his family stayed at."
She also talked about like this liquor, like this hard, like really hard alcohol that is like 50-60% alcohol that everybody drinks there, and they think it like helps them not be sick. Do you remember that?
Yeah, like she was saying that her grandma would like start her day with like a shot of whatever that was. So that was kind of funny. I felt sick for a lot of that. It got better because we like missed out on the King Nicholas Museum. We ended up just sitting and eating there, and it was really good. I liked that meal. We had like mixed meat. I don't know, like sausage and fries, and I don't remember what else.
So the other thing that was interesting about it was the city of Kotor. The thing that I didn't realize about that whole area was I didn't even know that Venice had its own empire, like the Venetians. Did you know that?
I didn't know that, no.
Yeah, I didn't know it either. But the Venetians, at one point in time, they had control over that area, and then so did the Austro-Hungarians. Because remember when we did a big circle, and there was these two castles that were up on the hills that would communicate with each other that she told us were made by the Austro-Hungarians, who also battled against the Ottomans. The big structure, though, I think it was made by the Venetians.
Oh, okay. No, I was going to say the thing about Montenegro that was so fun is when we had free time and we were just walking around the
cats.
Was it Kotor where we were walking around?
Yeah.
Yeah. And there were just cats roaming everywhere. And we just found some really cool shops.
The place is known for cats. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I think we got some food and drinks and just kind of sat and watched everybody. And that was just kind of a vibe. Yeah. And then it was on to Greece to kind of finish it out. And so interestingly enough, like obviously everyone always talks about Mykonos and Santorini. We didn't have a ton of time in Corfu, but that was one of my favorite days. I think just because we rented a car and we kind of did our own thing. We went on a boat tour to look at some caves that were super, super pretty. And I think we were just kind of in awe of that was like our first taste of Greece, and just seeing the landscape and the rocks with, the greenery and then the super, super blue water that you see in photos. It was honestly probably one of the prettiest places I've seen. Like I was in awe the whole time. I was just like, this is so cool.
It was really, really cool. And the food there was really good too.
Yeah, I think that day we got gyros, like a gyro plate. And then we ended up swimming for a little while at the beach. And you did have like a little bit of an altercation with a Greek man on the beach, though. You want to talk about that?
Maybe this makes me sound like a dumb tourist. I don't know. I do think that there's like a little bit of give and take on this. I don't think I brought this up to you, but I specifically put our bag on the ground next to the chairs because I thought in my head, these probably aren't free. But then you moved the bags, put it on the chairs. And I'm like waiting for somebody to come and talk to us because those chairs were placed in front of 3 different restaurants who they could have belonged to. And there was no signs saying how much they charged for it.
Well, we figured it probably costed something, right? But
but we waited around for like 3-5 minutes waiting for somebody to come talk to us so we could pay.
And nobody said anything.
Nobody said anything. We go in the water and our stuff is either on the chair or like right next to it.
We really weren't there for a super long time either.
Yeah, we were like in the water for maybe 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then we come back to the chairs and we're there for maybe another 5 minutes and we're getting ready to go. And then some guy comes up to us and was like, hey, you need to pay 25 euros to sit in the chairs. And then you were like, okay, well, it's no problem. We'll just go. And he's like, well, you guys have already been there for a long time.
But it really wasn't. Like if it had been, I would have admitted it. But I'm like, dude, come on. It's been 10 minutes tops.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's not like people are waiting in line or something to sit where we're sitting, It just was interesting. But like should have come earlier.
Yeah. Well, he acted like we were dumb. He was kind of insulting in how he said it. It's like, do you tourists think that these chairs are just for free. And I was like, well, no, but we were waiting for somebody to come talk to us and there's zero signs. I told him like, look, man, it looks like you just didn't do your job and come talk to us when you should have come and talked to us.
I do think that was a little bit intense.
Well, he was already starting to be intense.
Yeah, no, he was.
So that was
yeah.
when I told him, you just didn't do your job.
He's like, I didn't do my job. Like he got so mad when you said that.
And I said, yeah, I kind of doubled down on it.
Yeah.
And I was like, look, dude, we're not trying to cause any problems. If you would have come and talked to us, we would have been happy to pay for it. And
finally,
we're happy to pay for it.
Yeah, finally at the end of it, like right then you were like, it's fine, we'll just pay.
Yeah.
And then he's like, oh no, it's okay. Never mind. Like,
so the funny thing about that is that there was 3 restaurants on the beach in front of those chairs. And we specifically didn't go to that restaurant because it had bad reviews. And the bad reviews were about the waiters being rude.
Josh always would look at the reviews before we would go anywhere. And people had said online that like the workers were rude, right?
Yeah.
So that was just interesting.
And he was one of those workers.
Yeah.
But we weren't trying to cause problems at all. And maybe we are just dumb Americans.
I'm
I don't
sure
know.
we are a little bit, but it was just a little bit too much, I think. But
it just like it was not clear whose chairs they were. And we literally waited for somebody to come and ask us to pay.
Yeah.
Let me just say this. I do think Americans are better at business. I think that there's cultural differences between Europeans and Americans. Like we saw that multiple times. Mm-hmm. I feel like Europeans, they work to live, whereas Americans, we live to work.
Well, yeah, because like we were waiting to eat at a restaurant and they're not going to open up till they're ready to open up. You know, like we wanted to come, and I think a lot of Americans would just have opened up if somebody really wanted to eat. But they're like, no, we open at 12. And I swear, like they even take time past 12. Like it ends up being like 12:05 or 12:10. Like all the waiters are like smoking, talking, doing their own thing, whatever. And then like finally they'll open up and you're like, okay.
It really is cultural differences. Like
yeah.
I asked ChatGPT about it. And they said that Europeans view meals as something to be savored and like enjoyed.
Yeah.
Whereas Americans are like, let's just eat it.
Yeah.
You know? So.
Well, and sometimes they'll do like long courses. The thing that sucks about that is it's like we're not trying to rush anybody, but it's like we want to taste the food in each country. And a lot of the time, if we did a tour, we didn't get a lot of free time. And so we kind of are in a rush, you know, to get back to the cruise ship. So it's like, sorry guys, I know you're.
Well, I read about it, and like the waiters like in Europe, they're not going to interrupt you, or they're not going to come and visit you very often because they think it's rude.
Yeah.
Whereas in America,
they're like, how are you guys doing? You know?
We want them to be more attentive or like refill our glass.
Well, a lot of Americans like won't even give a good tip if they don't get checked on enough or whatever, right? And so it's just kind of funny. And we're always at a rush. It seems like too.
So culturally, we did feel that there was some differences, and we're really not trying to be like snobby at all. I was trying to be a dick to that guy though, because he was rude. He just was abrasive from the very beginning.
Yeah.
With us, it was. I felt like he felt like we were trying to get away with something for free, which we weren't originally.
Yeah. No.
Or even at all. I was happy to pay.
It was just funny. Like finally it was like a give and take, and then finally you give, and he's like, no, you don't have to pay. It's like, he still just wants to win or what? Like I thought he was still going to take our money.
I don't know. He was a very proud Greek man though.
Yeah, that was kind of funny.
That was like the only weird cultural experience.
That's what I'm saying. Like we didn't have any problems like with anybody. It was just interesting, that little moment, you know. Mm-hmm. I thought all the Greek people we talked to were super nice. So yeah, Corfu was amazing, and then we went to Mykonos and Santorini, I think the next couple days after that. And so
those two did not look like what I thought they would look like in between like cities that you travel. Mm-hmm. And there is turquoise water in Mykonos and Santorini, but it's super dry.
Santorini was really like deserty, like vibes.
Yeah.
It was just very dry, very interesting. The thing that's overrated, I feel like with Santorini and kind of rough when a lot of cruise ships are porting there, is you have to take either a cable car up, walk or ride a donkey. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. I read online, I'm not sure if it really does hurt the donkeys, but a lot of people don't like supporting things like that. And so it would have taken a lot longer anyways.
Hey, well, Jesus rode a donkey, so I think it's okay.
Yeah. And then I talked to a girl in a shop. I'm like, does it actually hurt the donkeys? And she's like, no, they're used to it. So I'm like, I don't know. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. But I have done some things in my life traveling where I felt kind of bad. Like I told you, when I went to Thailand, I rode on an ostrich, and I felt super bad for the ostrich because I could just tell it hated me, which I don't know if like ostriches they're just kind of, I don't know, not the nicest animals, but
I just think that's a weird animal to ride. It doesn't seem like they're meant to be ridden. To me.
exactly. And so there were times where I was like, I don't think I should have probably done this, because I felt like his feathers were kind of coming off while I was riding on him, and I felt really bad about it. Even though it was like kind of a bucket list thing, whatever, it was crazy. I just was like, oh, I don't know. I don't know if I want to do anything like that again. It kind of ruined that for me. But yeah, so to take the cable car up, it just took a while, to wait in the line. And then
It took way longer getting off the island than it did getting on the island.
yeah, no, it's true, because everybody's waiting to go back on the cruise ship and stuff. Once we first got there, we ate really good food. It was like fresh hummus and then
Lamb ribs.
Yeah, lamb ribs, and then we got baklava and like a Greek salad. It was super yummy. And I will say though, I don't think I said this to you while we were on the trip, but maybe I did. But I was a little bit surprised how some of the Greek dishes like weren't as flavorful as I thought they would be. Like just the spices and the things that I think about, like when it comes to like vinegar and what they would use, I don't know, in those dishes. I thought some of the dishes weren't as like potent as I thought. Like the bang in your face, you taste it and you're like, whoa, that's really, really flavorful, if that makes sense. Like just some of the hummus was like really, really understated, and I don't know if that makes sense. I don't know. I just, in my mind, like Americanized Greek food just
Probably
tastes,
caters to Americans.
yeah, just tastes like more flavorful. But everything we had there was still flavorful. It just was more like understated than I thought, and just tasted super, super fresh. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I don't know. That was just an interesting observation for me, at least. And maybe I'm just used to putting like Cholula on stuff. You know what I mean? Like
You put Cholula on everything.
like gyros. It's like they put the tzatziki sauce, and then I'm like dousing it with hot sauce too. But like, I don't know. It's just culturally maybe different, but besides the point. And then we took a taxi over to, what was the city called in Santorini that we took over? Was it Oyos?
Oya.
Or Oya. Oya, yeah. So I feel like we got there at a really good time because it wasn't as crowded. Like we were watching the sun going down as we were walking through Santorini. And I got a really cool evil eye. I'm actually wearing it. And then an evil eye necklace. So it was just kind of cool seeing the evil eye everywhere. It was like everywhere, mostly in Santorini, but also Mykonos.
It was everywhere in Greece.
Yeah,
it was
just kind
all
of in
over
Greece.
Corfu. Like it was everywhere.
Yeah. So I asked a lot of people like the meaning, just because I wanted to hear like different answers and stuff. But for the most part, everybody just said it's to like block negative energy and
To block the haters.
bad vibes. Like, yeah, the haters. And it's just supposed to be good luck too. And I'm all about good luck, if you know me. Like, I laugh to this day because when me and my best friend Ari went to Europe for the first time, we went to Dublin, and I got this like 4-leaf clover card that was laminated in Ireland, and I held on to it like forever. I think it's still somewhere. I don't know exactly where, but I held on to it forever in my wallet, and it was like this lucky 4-leaf clover from Ireland. And my mom just always told me I was lucky growing up too, so kind of like adopted that. I don't know, in my mind, like I'm just a lucky person. But Ari's like, I know that you win all these Instagram giveaways and all these things in your life because you bought that 4-leaf clover in Ireland, and she's like, I should have bought one. I knew I should have bought one. And like, anyway, it's just funny.
Dude, I would love to go to Ireland.
Yeah, we should go to Ireland for sure, because I was only there for a day. Anyway, yeah, so anything that's like good luck, I'm always like, oh yeah, give me that. Like, I need all the good luck I can get. I would go back to Santorini. I think it would be fun to actually stay at an Airbnb or like something on the cliffside,
When the sun was going down, it was insanely packed. Like it
Oh,
was
yeah. Oh, yeah.
like a jungle of people.
Well, we were like trying to get out kind of as the sun was going down, just because we needed to make it back for our taxi.
Yeah.
And it was insane. I'm like, I can't even imagine having a stroller at a
By
place
the way,
like that.
we do recommend using Uber in Greece rather than local taxis. Like have Uber negotiate the rates for you. Otherwise,
Way cheaper.
You will significantly overpay, which
Yeah.
we did. Which honestly, like I don't mind that, like it's not the end of the world that we did. We can
Yeah.
definitely help out local economies, but you will save money by using Uber where you can.
Yeah.
Out of all the places that we went, though, my absolute favorite, which I think was surprising to you, was actually Athens at the very end of our cruise.
Yeah. It wasn't surprising to me.
I feel like you would have thought that I liked Santorini or Mykonos or Corfu or Kotor or something else.
I mean, no, because I know that you love history and the Roman Empire.
And
so
the Greeks. But anyways, the Acropolis was insane.
Yeah, truly.
It was pretty wild. Walking up that, it's just, you can just feel like the history. It's like people actually built this because they believed in those gods. Like they believed in Athena.
I will say I was obsessed with like mythology and growing up. Like, I don't know, just the gods in general. Just so it was really, really cool. Like we went to the Temple of Zeus. And I thought that was super, super fun to see that. And then one of my friends, kind of acquaintance that I follow, they went to the first Olympic stadium. And I thought that was just cool to see. So we went there too. It was a lot of walking.
Dude, it was hot.
And it was super, super hot.
It was the hottest day of the entire cruise.
For sure. So that was intense being pregnant. I was, almost 30 weeks pregnant.
We walked like 25,000 steps that day.
Yeah. So I was really, really tired. But it was worth it. And then we went to the hillside that was right next to the Acropolis where the Apostle Paul preached.
Areopagus Hill.
And that was a very, very cool view of Athens and like looking up to the Acropolis. Yeah, I was astounded, honestly, by Athens. I thought it was so, so interesting.
I would 1,000,000% go back to Athens.
Yeah.
Like I would spend a week there.
Well, and we had a really good gyro that day too. The food was super good.
That sealed the deal for you? Like we're coming back to Athens because of the good food?
I mean, I just want to go back to Greece. Like we were there and we were like, we want to come back. Like we were already talking about it, but we were still there. It was just kind of funny. Like I think we both just really enjoyed Greece, which I totally thought we would. There's just so much to see in Greece because we talked to a lot of the people there and they said that a lot of the like Greek residents don't go to Mykonos or Santorini because it's very touristy, very expensive. And they were talking about how like our taxi drivers and stuff were saying that a lot of people go to like the smaller islands like Milos, Paros. I can't remember the other ones, but so I would love to go back and do more of like a beach kind of vibe,
I also want to do some stuff on the mainland though. Like there's a lot of really cool stuff there too, like the Oracle of Delphi. I want to go visit where that was. Yeah. Just other cool places.
Yeah. I loved Mykonos too, though. I thought it was just really cool seeing all the different windmills. And we went to a really pretty beach called, wasn't it Oikos or was it not? Oros? I don't know.
Oikos is a yogurt brand.
I know, but I swear it was called that. Ornos. That's what it was. Ornos.
Yeah.
I liked it. I enjoyed that day. It was a super hot day too, but I really liked just having beach time. There was like this really sweet Asian lady that was giving massages on the beach and Josh just decided we were getting massages on the beach. And I was like, okay, I'm down.
You didn't fight it. So,
I mean, yeah, massages are like my love language. So I was super down. I was just shocked at how hot it still was in September though. It was pretty hot.
I feel like Athens was my favorite though, because we got to see a lot of really cool stuff. And then we had an Airbnb that was like an hour, like the airport's like an hour away. From Athens proper. Our Airbnb, you could see the ocean, and it was just a really, really pretty view, and it was a cute house.
I think it was called like the Artemis balcony or something like that. I wish we would have had more time there because we slept for like 4 or 5 hours, and then we had to go to the airport at like 3:30 a.m.
But our dinner that night was actually one of the best dinners that we had.
That was really good.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Like the cheese, like the we had like this really good
cheese,
baked
like feta
cheese.
Yeah.
And there was a cat there that I was sneaking food to.
Yep, but he was getting greedy. And then we had pizza, and then you had like a really good Caesar salad, and I got a caprese salad.
It's the best Caesar salad I've ever had in my life.
It was like the biggest bowl too of Caesar salad. Like
we were surprised by the portion sizes there.
Yeah, it was pretty massive.
Just in general, in Greece, the portion sizes were pretty large. Like not that different from American.
Yep. So anyway, that was kind of the baby moon, but I'm super grateful that we were able to do that. My mom watched Noah, held it down. He was super excited for us to be home though, and it was really fun seeing him because that's the longest we've been away from him. It was 12 days total, so it was a pretty long trip with traveling and everything.
And I had a lot of stuff I had to get back to. On a separate note, we do have some cool updates for Zunex. I don't know if this is something that I've shared. So we're going to be opening up 2 more branches of Zunex this next year. And part of the reason why I'm wearing the shirt is because we're going to be opening up in Florida, and it's going to be Miami and Tampa, which unfortunately Tampa was just kind of smashed by a hurricane, which I hope everybody is okay.
Oh gosh, I didn't know Tampa was.
Yeah, it was one of the ones that got hit pretty hard. But
yeah.
I have friends that own companies there, and they said that other than being shut down for a couple of days, like, they're okay.
I'm sure there's a lot of damage though.
Yeah.
Like to the houses and everything, at least from photos that I've seen. But yeah, super exciting about Florida. Our plan is to be there in the summer for a bit.
Yeah, so the plan is hopefully to end our lease in Bluffdale in the spring, go to Florida, and then we'll either buy a house, hopefully, or we'll just find another lease.
So we'll see how things go, but it's going to be kind of rough being in Florida, the hottest part of the year, but
hey, we'll have the beach.
Well, that's kind of a new update. And then just getting back to the routine, super exciting that Noah's in preschool 3 days a week and he's doing a lot better.
We found like a morning routine that gets him excited to go instead of not as excited to go.
Yeah.
Your mom kind of cracked the code on that when we were gone.
Yeah.
Because before we left, he was not always happy to go. He was nervous,
Yeah, it's just a huge change.
But we found that if we wake up with him a little bit early, go on a walk with Finn and take him with us and let him ride a scooter for a little bit, he's pretty happy to go.
Yeah, I think he just needs time to, like you said, wake up.
He's got to regulate in the morning.
He'll take a shower with you, go on a walk with Finn, and it seems like he's more ready to go when he's been up for a little bit longer.
Noah definitely likes his routines, doesn't he?
Seems like it for the most part. Mm-hmm. It's just been interesting, like actually getting into more of a routine now, because when your child's not in school, it's kind of like you decide the schedule besides nap time, He's made friends now, I feel like, at preschool. It was a little bit sad though, like both of his teachers just quit and they got 2 new teachers, and I'm like, it's been a month since school has started, right? I'm like,
hey, maybe they were hard. Maybe they were a hard class.
They're like, these preschoolers, man, can't handle it. So that was kind of sad. I don't know. I felt like it was just weird getting new teachers that quickly.
But Noah started mentioning like names of kids that he's made friends with. So that's fun.
Yeah. So I'll ask him about some of his friends.
He keeps saying that one of them died. Have you heard that?
Yeah. I'm like, he did not die, Noah. What are you talking about? I think one of the kids was sick or something. And so he thought like he was at the hospital or something. And maybe he just thought, I don't know. He's in a lot of activities right now. Something that I was surprised about that he doesn't love yet is soccer.
But I think we found a solution for it. We'll see. Yeah,
Josh got a goal and a ball from Shields, and so he's been playing with him a little bit with that.
We just play keep away.
Yeah.
And he loves it. He cheats, though. He picks up the ball like all the time.
Yeah. I know, we're like, don't touch the ball. But it was just interesting. Like, we've only been to one game with him. My mom went to the other game while we were gone. But he was just like, I'm so tired. And he's like, I need to sit, or like, I need to go to the bathroom, like all these excuses. Mm-hmm. Or then he said, I'm scared. I'm like, what are you scared of, dude? You just kick the ball. It's not that scary.
I think he's just unsure.
Yeah, he's just unsure. He just says that. But I'm like, come on, Noah. And I'm like, I know you're not tired. Like, you are the Energizer Bunny. Like, come on. Mm-hmm. Go run with the kids. So I don't know. We'll see how this week's soccer game goes. We still have him in tumbling and swimming lessons. So definitely busy boy, but it's been good.
Did we need it?
I've read so many things online that like 3 to 5 year olds, especially boys, like really need to get their energy out. So got to keep him busy.
Which is wild considering like we try really hard to get him to eat like good solid meals, but dude,
eating is like a whole nother level.
This kid is like, it's like chocolate milk, a protein shake, and sausages and French fries are like high octane fuel to this kid.
And then it'll be like a random, sometimes he'll be like, I want yogurt or I want applesauce or whatever snacks for days, but he loves meat. Like we literally went to Costco yesterday and I got him a Costco hot dog, and those things are fat and big.
Did he eat the whole thing?
He almost ate, like it was like 3/4 of the way gone, and he takes the bread off and just munches the actual hot dog. It's kind of funny watching him just because it's like this little toddler kid just munching on a hot dog. Mm-hmm. But he does like pizza too. I'm like, really?
Just like me, huh?
Yeah, I'm like really takes after his dad / America. I'm like mac and cheese, pizza, quesadillas, hot dogs. Just kind of funny. Chicken nuggets. I just think it's like when parents say we just, our kids just eat whatever we eat and they don't get an option. And I'm like, that'd be nice, but he just doesn't. Like, and then he's like, I'm so hungry at night. And you're like, oh my gosh, dude, I gave you like 5 different opportunities, 5 different things to eat. Why are you still hungry?
It's a stalling tactic, 100%. Like, he's not always hungry.
No, I know. It's just so annoying. Like, my mom even said that while we were gone. She's like, why is he always saying he's hungry? Like, I made him so much food. So
anyways, that's just kind of a taste of our wildlife, but pretty much it for this week.
Yeah. Excited though to have more guests come on the podcast, and hopefully you guys have been, liking those episodes, and just, I feel like it's been fun learning from entrepreneurs and, just kind of different walks of life. And yeah, we have some cool people in the works too. So, but yeah, I'm 30 weeks pregnant. So the plan is to have baby girl at 39 weeks. So I have like 9 weeks left. Just got to push through the exhaustion with a toddler. Yeah, lots of exciting stuff for sure. Lots of changes are going to happen this fall.
Speaking of that, I think that we will have like a spooky episode where we get like ghost stories and stuff. But okay, well, welcome to the zoo.